The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences have announced their nominees for the Academy Awards, and as usual, as is tradition, AMC and Regal will be showing all the Best Picture nominees in a Best Picture showcase. Except one. Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net and shareholder in Regal and AMC theaters. I'm just letting that out there so that you know I have a legitimate right to complain even as a shareholder for this. So I love the Oscars. That I've made very, very clear on my channel. It's like my Super Bowl. I actually wake up early in the morning to see the nominations, which gets my fiance to joke like, why can't you wake up early willingly on, Sunday for church? But, whatever. And I write down the nominees. I like to see who get in, who did not get in. And of course, it's like a little reminder of how many reviews I have to write for my next book because, work and all that. And every year I look forward to the Best Picture Showcase at AMC and Regal. Now, I don't go to every single one of these things. What that is it's typically across a day or two, they show all the Best Picture nominees on the big screen. But it's a great way for people to catch up on the Oscar-nominated films, see them in the theaters the way they were meant to be seen, and I think it's overall a very good program. But this year I will be skipping out, and I think a lot of people should also skip out, because AMC and Regal is doing something very, very despicable in my opinion. They are not showing Roma, one of the Best Picture nominees, and in fact, one of 2 films to lead with 10 nominations each. According to Variety, AMC theaters and Regal cinemas are leaving Alfonso Cuarón's Roma out of their upcoming annual showings of the contenders for the Academy Award for Best Picture. Both chains made the announcement Tuesday after Roma was nominated for 10 Academy Awards and indicated that the rationale stems from the refusal to book Netflix's titles due to the Netflix policy of ignoring traditional 90-day window between initial theatrical release and home release. In the case of Roma, Netflix debuted the movie on November 21st and began streaming the film on December 14th, which I just want to say for the record, I saw the film on December 17th in a movie theater at the Art Theater. Even ran into a fan who watched this channel. So if he's still watching, hey, how you doing? So even though it was on Netflix, I still prefer to see it in theaters. AMC said, for more than a decade, movie lovers have enjoyed the AMC Best Picture Showcase to catch up on the nominated films that played at AMC throughout the prior year. This year, Academy members nominated a film that was never licensed at AMC to play in our theaters. As such, it is not included in the AMC Best Picture Showcase. Okay, I want to comment on that. AMC had the option to license the film. They didn't want to, so that's on them. That is not a good reason. Regal said in its statement, the Regal Best Picture Film Festival showcases the Best Picture nominees that played in our theaters in 2018. For that reason, Roma, a movie predominantly shown on TV, will not be included in our festival, which, by the way, it was not shown on TV. It was streaming, and again, they offered it. They had a chance to get it too. They could have had it and shown it in theaters along with everyone else. The news was first reported by Deadline Hollywood. So here's the thing. This is my problem. Blocking Roma is incredibly, incredibly petty. I know that movie theaters definitely fear Netflix, and I understand why. Netflix is trying to change the way we watch things, how we consume movies. They have been trying to make a point that people will just as happily stream a movie as they will pay a movie ticket for it. And they have done that, I think, in probably the worst way possible. I agree. I want Netflix to put the movies in theaters and have a proper theatrical run. That's why the theaters aren't opposed to Amazon. Amazon does what they need to do. They put the movie in theaters, they let it run its course, then it goes to their streaming service, and then they own it. Netflix does date and day releases. They kind of budge a little in the sense that now they will put a movie in theaters, like a few theaters for like 2 weeks and then put it on Netflix. That's still not enough time for people to really go to the theaters and enjoy the movie. So I understand that. At the same time, I think AMC and Regal are being extremely petty, and they're also missing out on a bigger picture here, which I normally would talk about myself, but this article from IndieWire actually highlights many of the reasons why I think this is extremely petty. So here's some of the reasons. Number 1, it comes mostly after 90 days of release. The dates of the all-nominee marathons are either close to the 90-day window. AMC's one-day event on February 23rd marks the 90th day, while Regal's runs from February 15th to 24th. And with this the new normal of Oscar nominees being rushed to standard streaming after 90 days before the Oscars and overlapping the marathons, expect several contenders shown to be available at home already. Black Panther is even shown on Netflix free of cost with monthly membership. That's number 1. 2, it doesn't weaken the chain's position. These marathons have become a celebratory event. It allows regular moviegoers to be part of the Oscar excitement, with some theaters making them special events with red carpets and other showmanship elements that can be fun for staff and ticket buyers. Denying a film to be part of this does nothing to help the chains. It's absurd to think Roma would somehow depreciate exhibitors' ongoing battle with Netflix, and likely soon with other services, including those from the very studios that supply their films. If I were still contributing to decisions as an exhibitor, I'd suggest lightening up. That's the second thing, and I agree with that. And here's probably one of the bigger ones. Showing Roma would help theaters make their point. Everyone outside the Netflix corporate suit who has seen Roma, include Alfonso Cuarón, says it should optimally be seen in a theater, preferably with great sound. And we're going to talk about it in 1 second. Here's an idea. Play the film and make a point about how a film this acclaimed deserves exhibition the way theaters can do. Suggest people who have seen it at home come out and experience the difference. They are rejecting marketing gold. I suspect they could get Cuarón and other principals to show up at some screenings and do publicity for the marathons. Yes, Netflix and Roma are a threat, but flip the script by pushing the superiority of what theaters can do. And I want to talk about this in detail right now, because this is one that I think I agree with most. Here's the thing. I saw Roma in theaters, and I actually am really glad I saw Roma in theaters. Not just because I like theaters, but because Roma, ironically, is a movie that is catered towards the movie theater experience. It is a very quiet film. It's not very fast. It's not even a movie that's necessarily about anything, and yet it's about a lot. I actually compare it to movies like Lost in Translation and Mad Max Fury Road. These are two movies that don't have a whole lot in the way of dialogue or scripts or an overarching story, but there is so much being said through the visuals that I noticed that when people who saw it in theaters loved it, people who saw it at home didn't like it as much. And it's probably because they're on their cell phones, they're constantly distracted. They watch for a few minutes, realize that there's other things they could be doing, and they turn it off thinking nothing is happening, when really a whole world of stuff is happening. So Roma is actually very, very handicapped on the Netflix platform because it's a movie that does beg your entire, complete, attention. And a movie theater is the best place to do that, not at home. So yeah, I actually completely agree with that. And then here we have this one. This makes the chains look petty. Exhibitors get varying degrees of sympathy for their position. This oddball Oscar season with no clear frontrunner could well hinge on backlash to a movie, or even the backlash to the backlash, see Green Book. But this petty action manages to make Roma and Netflix sympathetic and the theaters small. That's not easy. To judge my initial social media reaction, chains look like the bad guys here. And here's how it plays into Netflix's plans. Oscar campaigns are efforts to create public opinion. I suspect Netflix would like the Best Picture race to come down to a simple question. Which movie do you think is the best? Not where the film played, how it was released, or who made it. I agree. The theater's action declares that Roma isn't good enough to play, not because of quality, but because of a business plan. That's something Netflix can work with, I suspect. And here's their final point, and I want to make one more point as well. This is a chance to expose a theater chain audience to a subtitled film. Of course, even the biggest subtitled successes only see a small portion of their grosses from AMC and Regal, but theater chains want to appeal beyond mass market films. Oscar marathons are an opportunity to do that with films like Moonlight, The Phantom Thread, or Hell and High Water. Show Roma in the marathons, and maybe some previously reluctant viewers might reduce their resistance. And by the way, when people see a movie like Roma in theaters and they realize how good it is, they might not be afraid to see a subtitled movie in the future, which I know that AMC would like to expand that market. Heck, one of the theater AMCs that I go to has 30 screens and they have subtitled movies all the time. Like, why wouldn't they want people to be more open to them? So let's go up here. Like, this is a great little picture of the movie. Now, here's another thing that I want to point out. The theater seemed to have no issue showing live action animated shorts and documentary shorts that Netflix has produced. The White Helmets, 13th, that bicycle movie about the Russians doping. These are all movies that were shown in AMC at the short. Well, okay, that last one was like a full-length documentary, but it still showed in a Regal cinema. I saw that movie in a cinema. And when they do the documentary shorts and the animated shorts and the live action shorts, Netflix is typically in those categories. And they show those movies. Are they not going to show them there? And how does that work? Because here's the thing. The shorts are also shown on TV and the internet. And yet this... What was that? What was that argument? Well, let me see here. Yeah, Regal said Roma, a movie predominantly shown on TV, will not be included in our festival. Well, what about the shorts? The shorts are predominantly shown on TV and on the internet. They are not shown in cinemas predominantly. And yet they show the shorts. So why are they showing the shorts? And why is that okay? And the answer is pretty stinking obvious, I think, because people want to see them in the theaters. That's why they're going. Sure, you could download the shorts. You could pay $2 for them on iTunes and watch them on your Apple TV. But why would you want to do that when the movie theater is right there? And by the way, here's the thing. Since Roma is still predominantly not being shown in regular movie theaters, having it in the showcase would add a little specialty to it. Like, hey, here's the Best Picture nominee that you can't see anywhere else on the big screen. That is a selling ploy. This is just stupid pettiness and politics. This really is. I am very, very upset with AMC and Regal, both of whom I have invested interest in. I own stock for both these companies, and I think this is ridiculous. I see them leaving money on the table. So you know what, AMC and Regal, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I am going to do, because I disagree with this so much. I'm not going to sell my stocks, although I am going to write a letter to both your companies and voice my opinion. In fact, I might even just send them this YouTube video. Maybe that will get the point across. However, here's what I'm also going to do. I am not going to go to your Best Picture showcase. I am not. There are a few theaters around here who are showing Roma in theaters. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to one of those theaters. I'm going to buy a ticket to Roma. I'm going to buy a drink. I'm going to buy, what can I buy? I got rid of, I'm now in the pre-diabetic stage, but I don't want to get back into diabetes. I'll buy some popcorn for Katie or something, and I'll bring some apple slices with me so I could, or, a banana, something like that. And we are going to watch Roma again in theaters, and we are going to bypass the Best Picture showcase. This does nothing to help you. It does nothing to hurt Netflix, and you are being petty, and you need to stop. But, of course, I pass the question on to you. What do you think? Does this make you upset? Do you plan to see the Best Picture showcase now? Do you want to see Roma in theaters? And here's a more interesting question. If you saw on home theater, on your streaming box, your Xbox, your Roku, your Apple TV, whatever, did you like it, and do you think the theater would change your mind about the movie? I would love to know. So, comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my exclusive Patrons-only blog, which I should be updating later today or something. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.